Hello everyone, Bev from Premier Sportsman's Guide. Here today we're talking with Melanie Peterson of Extreme Huntress. Melanie, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So Melanie, tell us about your childhood and growing up in the deep hunting.
Well, I actually grew up with hunting as part of my family. I hunted with my dad quite a bit when I was a child, from the early on stages. I was probably only 4 or 5 years old and carrying binoculars. And,
wow.
My mother loves to tell a story that I was potty trained in the woods because I really wanted to go hunting, and she told me, you know, you have to be potty trained and you cannot have a bottle. So, so yeah, she tells everybody this story at Christmas time over and over again. But I've always been passionate about the outdoors. I knew from an early age that this is what I wanted to do when I grew up. I told a story actually on my audition tape for Extreme Huntress that I went to a fishing lodge with my dad, and there was a lady that was working there, and she decided that she was going to talk to a customer in front of me, and she was telling them, you know, this is what it's going to cost to go on this fishing trip, and if you want to do a horseback ride later. And I was just in awe and said, when I grow up, that's what I'm going to do.
How did you get into the guides and outfitting part of the outdoors?
Well, actually it kind of started out early. I took friends hunting and just decided, you know, that was something that I thought I wanted to do. Of course, I've been told that that's a terrible career choice, that you'll never make any money, and it's too hard of work, and you should probably go to college and get a degree. And quite honestly, I just really wanted to do it, and the money has never been a driving factor for me. I mean, I just love going to work every day, and I love teaching people, and it's really satisfying for me to be on a horseback ride somewhere with somebody, and they'll say, my God, you are so lucky that you get to see this view every single day. And sometimes it takes, you know, that person 30 days into the hunting season to remind me just really how lucky I am.
What are your favorite places to hunt?
You know, I purposely live in Wyoming. It is my favorite place. I've hunted a lot of places in the West. I've hunted actually a lot of places here in the United States, but Wyoming just has everything for me. I love the mountains. I love the cold temperatures in the fall.
Do you really like the cold temperatures?
I don't really like deep snow, but I do love the cold temperatures. I mean, there's just something about being up at 4:30 in the morning and the air's crisp, and you just know you're going to hear an elk bugle, and
wow.
It's exciting.
Seriously? You hear that?
Absolutely.
Just, oh my gosh, that's awesome. You could wake up to that every morning.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. What type of hunting is your favorite?
I am a mule deer hunting nut.
Okay.
I love to hunt big mule deer. I grew up with that. I grew up in southeastern Oregon, and I don't know, mule deer, I think I love them so much just because there's just no way to get a really big one other than the hard way. You can't grow one in captivity very easily. So they have to get old and big, and they're smart, and they're in hard to get places, and as long as I'm physically able to, I'll be chasing mule deer.
Now, other than hunting, do you like to do anything else outdoors? Like what outdoors do you have another passion for?
That's kind of funny, you know. I'm not a real big camper unless it involves hunting.
Okay.
But
seriously, you love the outdoors, but you're not a big camper?
No, I mean, if we're going for, you know, if we're going to get up early and we're going to go hunting something the next day, I'm all about it. But yeah, just to go camp in the woods, probably not. But I love horses.
Okay.
So I've been passionate about horses since I was about 3 years old. I started out showing horses, and I've always had horses my entire life. And fortunately for me, that love of horses has meshed very well with my outfitting business.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, when you go hunting, what is the piece of equipment that you just cannot leave behind?
That is easy. That's binoculars.
Okay.
Because I love to look.
With regards to Extreme Huntress, what do you guys do to defend the constitutional Second Amendment? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we're obviously all believers in our Second Amendment. I mean, we're hunters, we do carry firearms. I personally have a concealed carry license. I have it for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want to exercise that right, but I also use it for protection too. We do go back and forth to bear baits and so forth, and I do want to carry a firearm. Unfortunately, we live right here in the good old USA where that's our freedom. One of the things I thought was really interesting, the Extreme Huntress actually has a handgun challenge as part of their competition. And this year, I believe it is episode 23.
Okay.
One of the contestants is from Canada, which most people know that carrying a firearm in Canada is very difficult unless you're law enforcement or you have some reason to protect your life. This lady, she had not had a lot of experience, if any experience, with a handgun, and I witnessed with my own eyes somebody who got very brief expert instruction prior to the competition, because they were a surprise challenge.
Okay.
Not only did she become proficient with very little training, she won the competition.
Wow.
Yeah, she blew it away. I mean, it was awesome.
Oh my goodness.
And I mean, I actually said, I said, you know what, she's probably going to win this because she has no bad habits.
Right.
And she is going to do exactly what that instructor is telling her to do.
And she did.
And she did. And she kicked all our butts. That was pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Go Sherry.
That's awesome. Now, why do you think you're the best candidate for Extreme Huntress 2018? What sets you apart?
I did handily win the skills challenges, but I had a little bit of an advantage.
Okay.
I've been a guide for 25 years.
There you go.
And I've done a lot of things in my 51 years of life, but I did have an advantage there. I was comfortable there. I didn't let the cameras get to me, and I was there to win. I brought a lot of experience with me, and that's really why I was there.
Yeah.
I thought, challenges wise, let's see if I can do it. And I am just super passionate about the message. I am all about getting the women involved in hunting.
Awesome.
And I've said it for a long time, and there was one particular paragraph on their entire website that caught my attention. You have to get to the moms to get to the children.
Absolutely.
To really protect our livelihood,
yes,
and our heritage. That message right there, I can't stress it enough.
Let me ask you, Melanie, what do you think of the Eagle Arms show here that we are attending this weekend, the gun show? What are your thoughts?
You know, this is the first gun show that I've actually been a part of on the exhibiting side. I was really, actually I was thinking it was going to be more hunters, but it's not. There's probably 30% of the crowd is probably hunters. The rest of them are either gun collectors, avid shooters. I actually engaged in a conversation yesterday, which was slightly uncomfortable to start with, but it was more of an anti-hunter. And it was kind of nice to actually be presented with the question. It was actually about African hunting, and the gentleman was very upset about the elephants and so forth. But quite honestly, after 15-20 minutes that he was willing to let me talk and really talk about conservation and how hunting helps the elephants. It's not actually killing them off, it's actually protecting them.
Right.
I think I changed his mind. He actually said he wanted his wife to talk to me because she is just a real avid supporter of all of the anti-hunting in Africa, and he says, you know, I'm glad I talked to you.
That's awesome.
So the gun show itself has all kinds of people. There's families here, there's little kids here, and it's been a really good experience for me. Everybody's behaving themselves. I mean, I wasn't sure what to expect.
Right.
I mean, there's tables everywhere, there's people everywhere, but it's a great show. I mean, and busy. Holy cow, it's busy.
Do you think you'll come back to Oaks?
I would, yeah, I would. I met some really neat people here, and the vendors have been awesome. I mean, they've gone out of their way, they've left their booth, they've come over to say hi, they want to know about Extreme Huntress, and they've got on their phones yesterday, they're voting, and I had a guy this morning come by and says, hey, I watched like 6 of your episodes last night.
Wow, 6?
Yeah, he watched 6 of them last night.
Wow. So, Melanie, what can we expect from you in the future?
You know, I'm not really sure what the future holds. I definitely see myself on the public relations side of things. Obviously, we have a business in Wyoming that will continue growing that, and I don't know, we'll see. You know, I've really enjoyed talking to the different vendors here and the manufacturers, and I have to stay, I definitely have to stay in the people business.
Well, Melanie, thanks again so much for being here. We appreciate you spending time with us and coming out here to Philadelphia.
Thank you.
And vote for Melanie. The voting goes through?
It goes through polldaddy.com, but you're going to get on extremehuntress.com. You're going to click on 2018 voting.
Okay.
And you're going to vote for Melanie.
And when does the voting end?
Voting ends January 4th of this year, so we are so close. We're actually in just the last few weeks of voting, and holding, I think, like a 3% lead right now, but
perfect.
I want to make that margin a little wider.
Okay, well that's why we're here today. So follow the link on the broadcast, vote for Melanie Peterson for Extreme Huntress 2018. She's got a lot to say. She's got a lot going on, guys. So thanks for listening.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you soon. Bev from Premier Sportsman's Guide, providing premier resources for sportsmen to better enjoy the great outdoors. Until we see you again, we'll see you on the outdoor side of life.